right, look, I just wanted to make this video as an addendum, if you will, and point out a couple of things about myself. Not that I'm anybody special, I'm not. Certainly not. What I do, there's a few more people like myself. What we do is we try to get the remnant word out there. It's 144,000. And people, they just don't want to hear it. They just don't want to hear it. And you can jump up and down, you can play the dirge. Is that the right word? You can play instruments, you can dance, you can do this, you can do that, and they still don't want to listen to you. And when it comes to selling your spiritual wares in the marketplace, nobody wants to buy them. Nobody wants to buy them. But by the same token, even though it's a very lonely job, if you've been called to do it, then you've been called to do it, and you have to do it. So it's a zeal, it's a love for the word, because when everything is all said and done, those who worship God must do so in spirit and in truth. And there's a language. It's called the metaphorical language, the language of metaphors. And the Lord was proficient in it, and even He didn't get the people because they didn't have the eyes to see or the ears to hear for whatever reason, about eating His body and drinking His blood. So we just can't sell our spiritual wares, but we know that the job needs to be done. We are a remnant, a direct descendant remnant. The 144,000 go all the way back to when that church was first established, and the gates of hell shall not prevail. That's Matthew 16:18. But that church went through a metamorphosis. It went through a transition period, and now the 144,000 seem to be what's left of it. Now there's a lot of dear souls out there. We know that. We pray for them all the time. And I know for my part, it's just the way I am. It's just in my hard wiring, the way I was brought up. I come across a little bit, shall we say, intimidating, or a little too strong, a little too brash, however you want to paraphrase it. But my heart's in the right place. My heart's in the right place. Because I'm trying to wake people up. And it ain't easy. It's not easy to wake people up. But those are the times in which we live. They really are. And Israel was translated over, carried over, having passed over and born again as spiritual Israel. We will never deviate from that truth. That is the main crux of the message that we preach. A remnant of who? A remnant of Israel. Now Christ is our Sabbath. We do not go back to all the laws and the ordinances and all those things because Christ is our Sabbath. But by the same token, we know and we have an advocate in heaven that keeps us on the straight and narrow. And again, it's not easy. It's not easy. People just don't want to hear that message. But when things get going bad, and they will, it seems like it's the way things are lining up right now. It could go off the rails real soon. We need to be prepared. We need to inform others in any way, shape, form, capacity that you can. Even to plant a seed. Because we'll leave you with this thought. The 144,000 make it. Okay? We're talking about the tribulation. But you also have people that are not even part of that. The vast majority are not part of that construct, if you will. And they're part of the church system, or they're not part of the church system. And those are the ones that will be persecuted, and they'll die for their faith. They'll become martyrs. So we need to get them this word. We are most passionately adamant, especially when it comes to the 7-year dispensational rapture cultists. Because what they are doing, they give people, the word says they tickle their ears. In the modern parlance, you would say something like they're giving them dopamine. They're giving them their fix of dopamine every time that these false prophets will say it's going to be soon, which is about as nebulous and abstract as you can get. And the other crux of the matter is that it was Jesus Christ who confirmed the covenant, that blood sacrifice covenant, that ultimate sacrifice back in Daniel. And we have a big controversy because 100 million plus people are just, all they care about is the dopamine factor. When are they going to be out of here? When are they going to be in paradise? Avoid pain, pursue pleasure. When's it going to be? That's what they're asking. And when these things pick up steam, and when the times get real tough and unpredictable, even though they're not, they've been predicted to go this way for a long time now, that we know. But when these things happen, for a lot of people that don't know the difference, their faith will be shipwrecked. Their faith will be shipwrecked. Those are the people we're trying to get to. Now I know that I have my quirks. I know I'm just a little bit rough around the edges. But look, I'll leave you with this final thought. Look at what is being said. I do not have bad intent. I'm trying to get a point across. And that's all I know. Continue to march. It's a very, being one of the 144,000 is a very lonely, tough job. You have no idea. But if you're called to do it, you're called to do it. That's all we know. Love you guys. We'll talk soon.